Hello there everyone, this is Phantom Duels here. Today I'm gonna be doing what if issei snap. The reason I'm doing this is because I decided to do a redo and wanted to bring some people into this what if. Since last time I did this what if, I wanted to do a two-part movie, but since I didn't really seem interested in making it a movie, I decided to make it part. Don't worry, I'm actually gonna do part 4 of what if Goku and Bardock went to planet Earth. Not today, but maybe another time. But today's gonna be what if issei snap. It's not gonna be the same thing as my last what if, but close to it. So we're going to start at the Riser fight. Issei actually snapped right when Riser broke his armor. Instead of Issei having the holy water with him, Asuya didn't give it to him. Asuya and this what if didn't like him at all. So when Issei had the holy, Issei didn't have the holy. Issei was in the ground, and Riser was inches away from stabbing Issei on the chest and ripping out the pawn pieces that Rias had inside of Issei. Since since that happened, Issei was looking at. Oh shoot, sorry. Issei was looking at Riser. When Riser ripped out the pawn pieces, wasn't bleeding or anything. He just felt weaker and weaker. But Issei still sorry about that. Issei still had his strength with him. He still had the Red Dragon Emperor Gauntlet on his hand. The ship is gonna be different than last time and everything. So yeah. So we see Issei looking at Riser, who was holding a pawn piece on his hand. No, sorry. Issei looked at a Riser and said, "Why, you bastard? Tell me, why will you do that to me?" Riser then said, You don't deserve to be in her group. Now just die, worthless Emperor." Riser grabbed Issei by the neck and threw him. When Riser grabbed Issei by the neck, he looked at where Rias, Akano, Konako, and Kiba were standing. Konako didn't really seem to show any emotion. No, Konako was showing emotion that Issei was gonna get hurt. Akano, her and Rias were just looking at Issei. I think I'm Luis Shotira. I know somebody that likes Rias and Akano. I'm sorry if those people ever watch this video. I'm really sorry. It's only for what if. So then Issei, so then Issei said, "I'm sorry," but Rias didn't do anything. She just stand there with a smile. As as Issei just didn't see anything. He just he just felt like he was betrayed by everyone, which I know this basically kind of sounds like a betrayal. What if? But it may be, and maybe not. So when Issei saw that they didn't try to do anything, Konako and Kiba were just trying to go into the fight to help Issei, but Ria stopped them both from doing anything. Then Kiba yelled to Issei to not give up. Come on, fight back. As Issei started to laugh and said, "I'm sorry that I was foolish enough to actually believe anybody." As Issei started to remember that everyone actually didn't like him, they were just using him. His own friends were using him just as a punching bag for every time that they peeped girls in the series. They just used them as the one to get punched by them. Issei just said, "Everyone just used me. No one really cares about me for anything. I lost everything. My own parents died, all because of me showing them something. They died. Now, what's the point? When I mean by that Issei parents die, Issei actually lives alone. Issei's parents died when he was a child. They were in a car crash. Simple. When that happened, Issei suddenly started to have a rewind of what happened in the past to him. When Issei saw that, he just started to feel like his eyes were morphing, and uh, and also when Issei's eyes started to morph, Ricer just looked at Issei as Issei said, "Ah." Then Issei teleported behind Ricer as he kicked Ricer and said, "Maybe I shouldn't have done this later. Maybe I should have not done this to show that I'm weak." Issei's hand, Issei's red dragon emperor hand started glowing in yellow in a purple lightning as he then said, "Shio- Shidori," and then he stabbed Ricer. Which then, when Issei stabbed Ricer, he looked at himself and said, "What did I do? I don't remember." As Issei started to yell, his head started hurting. He started to just see memories of a certain kid fighting a friend with blonde hair and whiskers at the valley at the end in a purple giant person against a giant fox. And he saw that same person say Shidori. When when Issei heard those words going through his mind, he didn't he didn't actually say anything. Issei just saw that Ricer was in the ground, bleeding from his arm, bleeding from his chest. His The hole that Issei did was in the same spot where Sasuke Uchiha stabbed Naruto with the Chidori, a few inches away from his heart, but it didn't actually hit him. Oh, I think I'm memorizing it wrong. Sasuke didn't actually Chidori Naruto. Yeah, yeah. Sorry for saying that. Cool. So then go. So then Sasuke. No. So then Issei looked at everyone. So everyone just was surprised of how Issei was able to teleport behind Riser. Issei just said, "Now, Riser," as he then summoned the Gauntlet, the Red Dragon Emperor hand, and made a gun shape with his hand, and then said, "Boost." As Drake kept on saying boost, 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 and then he let out like a trigger sound. As soon as Issei let that trigger sound out of made that trigger sound, red orb started forming around his hand and was shot towards Riser. Riser was then basically erased halfway all the way to his upper part of his body. Then his sister had to go help Ricer heal. As Issei for a second was looked at by Kiba, Kiba just saw that Issei's hair was kinda turning black. When Kiba saw that Issei's hair was turning black, he didn't actually think of anything. Issei just looked at Kiba and said, "Huh, thanks for telling me that. I should have realized this sooner." And the ability to teleport is not given to Issei. It was only given to him because Obito Mangekyo Sharingan had the Kamui, but basically a weaker version of Kamui. It doesn't allow you to be indestructible. No one can touch you or basically hurt you. Issei is only able to teleport from one point to another point, like Sasuke's Renegon, which allows him to teleport from this. If Issei is being held by somebody, he could just replace with somebody, but that'll be when he gets his Renegon, which won't be until I make the third episode of this series. And since I'm making every time that I make a new series, I'm making 3 parts, then I'm continuing a different one. You guys you guys choose the next series that I continue. But if I don't continue it, I'll redo it, make a different story and everything. But for now, this what if will be 3 parts. Then I'll go back to Goku and Bardock were sent to planet Earth and continued to make a part of this. So then, so after that, Issei looked at Konoko, pat her on the head, and then said, "Now, Drake, where to next?" Drake then said, "Back home. No one here needs you." As Goku looked at no, as Issei looked at Zurzak and said, "You should actually watch who you tell your sister to betray." Zurzak was like, "How do you?" We go back a few hours before the Riser fight. Is Sursac and Riser. Sursac and Riser and Rias were talking. That Sursac was telling Riser to challenge the Red Dragon Emperor and and for Rias to betray him. They both agree with pleasure, while while Issei, who was coming back to school to before going back to school, he went to the team layer to or campus to go see his Parage. As he saw his Parage, they were his Parage wasn't there. Konoko, Akano, and Kiba weren't there. Only Rias and Sir Sax were in the meeting room. Before Issa even knocked on the door, he looked at the window, and the window was a bit open. He could hear what they were saying. As Issa was like, "Oh, this might be a joke. I might be hearing things." As a certain five people, wait, yeah, a certain five people were just watching in Issei's head, kind of pissed off that this kid couldn't wake up to reality and realize that the world is always gonna be full of hatred and despair. And basically, you guys think you guys might be thinking that I'm being dark. That's basically what Madara said. You can't be blaming it on me. So when so when Issei saw that, he just then we go back to present time where Issei just activated the Sharingan. He didn't activate he activated it to the second time away because with that much pain going through his body and Drake's boosted gear on his hand made him unlock the second stage faster than any other Uchiha should ever be able. Issei's mom and dad never got to tell Issei who he really is because in this series the Uchihas were annihilated, like erased from existence, but there was two left from different families who were actually pure-blooded Uchihas. Just like Madara and his brother, and his brother, they were both pure-blooded Uchihas. Issei's parents. So when they met each other, they felt that they could bring the Uchiha clan back. So when they had Issei, they wanted to tell him that he was an Uchiha, not any ordinary Uchiha, but a pure-blooded one, just like his ancestor Madara Uchiha and Indara Uchiha, or Indara Otsutsuki. When Issei, when Issei walked home, he started to when Issei teleported to his house. The booster, and second of all, the booster gear gives Issei a lot more chakra, basically 20 20 to 30 times more chakra than a regular. It boosts his chakra, but I say that he should have 30 or 20 more, 20 more, 20 to 30 times more chakra than uh than a Tail Beast user could have, and more than Madara himself. Go. Then looked at when Issei got home. He saw that he was actually inside of his house, not outside of the door. Then Drake said, "Kid, when you fall asleep, there's a few people who are going to want to talk to you." As Issei said, "Yeah, sure, Drake." Now I have to search around. As Issei's voice changed. Issei's voice actually changed because he decided to be how to actually let out what he feels and how he is. As Issei just said, "Yeah, sure, Drake." As he started to search around around his house, which is basically where his parents and him used to live, were living until his parents died. Didn't get adopted. He was basically considered old enough to stay there. As Issei went to his parents' room and started to search around, but then he remembered his dad's office where his dad used to have a certain cabinet locked with everything about his family history and who he really is. As Issei went there, he teleported there with his he teleported there to test out his abilities. As Issei then saw that the cabinet was locked, as Issei then said, as Issei wanted to know how to do the Shidori, but then, as we all know, Sasuke doesn't really use hand signs when he does Shidori anymore. Because when I was watching the Boruto movie, the Boruto movie, the one where it was Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki, Sasuke didn't actually use any hand signs to do the Shidori. Uh, as Issei just imagine a lot of light from his hand and said Shidori. He then he then made the Shidori go into one finger, and he destroyed the front part of the cabinet, which then led inside to a bunch of papers and the family albums of many and the family tree of all the Uchihas before his mom and dad. As when Issei read the book, it said all of the Uchihas, all of the Uchihas of the centuries, all of the family tree of Uchihas. When he saw that, he just went through it and saw that there was a long-haired man with a red arm, a short-haired person with one purple eye and one red eye, one with a small sore on his back, and one wearing an Akatsuki cloak, and another one who had a missing arm. When the Issei saw that, he was like, "Who are they?" And then he saw the last one, the begin in the first Uchiha out of all of them. He saw that Uchiha was in it said Indara Otsutsuki. As he then asked, why isn't his name Uchiha? As he read all the other names of the people that were before him that were considered the top greatest Uchihas. Shisui Uchiha, Madara Uchiha, Itachi Uchiha, Obito Uchiha, and Sasuke Uchiha, the last Uchiha of all, the last Uchiha. For example, basically, Sasuke's Uchiha had two kids. It was Issei's father and his daughter that he had with Sakura, which is in the series of Boruto. I don't know her name because I never wanted to memorize her. So then go. So then Issei looked at that and said, "What are these Uchihas? Every time that I think about it, I just start remembering their names." When Issei saw that, he was then pulled into his consciousness. His body, his body fell into the ground. He was in his mind as Drake said, "Well, kid, looks like it's time for you to meet them." As Issei said, "Meet who?" Uh, Rat over here. As we then see Madara Uchiha getting out of the shadows. Shisui Uchiha getting out of the shadows. Obito, Itachi, and Sasuke. When they all got out of the shadows, the only thing you could see in the shadows is all red eyes and one purple. No, two purple. Basically, people with one purple eye on one side, and the other one was red. It was basically Obito and Sasuke. As Issei said, "Oh, okay, who are you both?" As Issei uh, summoned his gear and then activated his Sharingan. As he then said, "Amaterasu." As Issei didn't even think before saying that. He just let it out, and all of them just summoned out an armor. It was first Madara letting out his Susanoo. Then it was Obito summoning out his Susan using Kamui. Then it was Sasuke teleporting out of the way. It was Itachi burst up the crow substituting out of the way, and just Shisui just using Genjutsu to get out of there. As they all said, "Ah, so the brat doesn't go. So the brat has a Materasu at in this point. Huh. Then Issei looked at them and said, Why am I remembering all this stuff? Because we're inside of you and we have gone through all the things that you're memorizing. First you'll start memorizing about you'll start memorizing what what Itachi has gone through. You unlock his abilities. Then you go through Shisui's. Then you go through Madara's. Then you go through mine. Then you go through Obito's. And no, switch it. You go through Shisui's, then you go to Obito's, then you go to mine, then you go to Madara's, which is him who's talking right now, and then you go to Sasuke, the last Uchiha. And then they say, as a warning, we're gonna give you our memories and we're gonna let you to learn on your own. Now, kid, you have a choice. Accept who you are and show the world that you aren't weak. As they all let out a hand, as that one hand, as Issei accepted it with no argument, he accepted the deal. When they saw that, they were like, "Perfect. He isn't like us." He did that. The moment he did that, his hair fully went black. It spiked down. It was no longer in those tiny ponytails he had in the anime. As Issei looked at them and said, Where are you?" But before Issei said that, they all went inside of him, and Issei now became one with all of the Uchihas. As Indara appeared instead. Now you are Issei Otsutsuki Uchiha. As he disappeared inside of him too, Issei just opened his eyes, and he was like, "Now I remember. I'm the last Uchiha." As he then told Drake to teach him how to use the booster gear to the maximum. As he trained it, he got back to his real body, went outside to his backyard, and started training. He remembered that he couldn't do hand signs, as he started to do the hand signs to the Chidori, to do the original one, not the purple one. As he did the hand signs to the Chidori, and then he did the Chidori, making uh making the regular Chidori. As Issei then said, "I need to keep training." Issei did a one-handed Shidori. Issei did a one-handed Shidori on his hand. Issei decided to learn how to do one-handed jutsus, as he wanted it to be better than his ancestors. As Issei then did one-handed jutsu, as one hand had it as Shidori, and the other one had it as Shidori. Shidori combined with Amaterasu, as Issei said, two Shidoris in two different hands. Let's do this. As he then stabbed a tree that was behind his house. When he did that, the tree was burned into a crisp. As Issei then said, wow, let's keep on training. He worked day and night, not sleeping. As Issei saw that it was turning morning and he had one more hour before going to school. He only had a few more hours before having to go to class. Issei Issei decided to learn the last jutsu because he learned Fire Style, Fire Phoenix, Fire Style, Fireball Jutsu, Fire Style, Fire Dragon. I think not Fire Dragon, Fire Style, and he learned the Halo dance that Shishui could do. He learned the crow substitution. He managed to get his Sharingan. He has already awoken all the Sharingans because of being combined with all of the Uchihas. He has all of those abilities, but he still needs to master them. He managed to master Shisui all the way into Obito. He needs to master Madara and Sasuke. So then Issei said, "Now that I master these abilities, I'm gonna use the technique." As Issei did the same thing Shisui did. He made he made shadows or substitutions of him that were attacking a tree at the same time as Issei was between as Issei was the real Issei was in the trees. Then Issei was like, no, with this ability, I want to upgrade it to the point where I can teleport to where those shadows, to where those illusions would be. As Issei teleported to the illusion that was on the right. He then teleported to the one that was on the left. He then teleported to the one that was behind. With that ability, he could just send an illusion around the world, and he'll be there. When Issei did that, he was like, huh, now, let's go back to school. Then someone from a certain universe who is still in the world, named Hagoromo Sasuke, Bra threw a sword from the sky towards Issei, as that sword was Sasuke's blade. That blade was then dropped on Issei. When that blade was dropped on Issei dodged the blade from smacking, from hurting him. As Issei said, who is doing that? The blade landed next to him as the blade said, this belonged to the last Uchiha. Issei, you said wisely. As Issei put the sword behind around his waist like Sasuke did. Issei decided to change his clothing from school. He decided to wear a black jacket and a black shirt and his regular school pants. Issei's hair could cover his eyes, but you could still manage to see them. As Drake managed to teach Issei how to use the second form of the boosted gear, Dragon Scale Mail, and the full version of the Dragon Scale Mail with the wings also. Since since we all know Madara could learn stuff like in a snap he could learn anything. And basically in a snap, Madara's IQ could basically help him learn how to master almost everything. So basically after that, Issei said, "Huh, I come away." He then he then he was sucked into a swirl and then appeared in his high school. Issei Issei was a few miles away from the school so no one could see what he was doing. Then Issei started to walk. Everyone was wondering who was the new boy. When Issei went to the classroom that Issei was and sat on his chair and looked at the window, the teacher asked, "Who are you?" As Issei said, "Issei Uchiha." Issei would just say Issei Hyodo. Issei would always say Issei Uchiha, not knowing that he was actually Uchiha. As when he said Issei Uchiha, everyone was like, "No, you couldn't be him. He never had black hair or black eyes." As Issei said, "Shut up." Everyone just went quiet when he said "shut up." His old friends came up to him and said, "Now tell us what happened to you, Issei." As Issei went before everyone could blink, he teleported behind them. When he teleported behind them, no one could see or hear how he moved. Then they both saw that Issei had a store behind him. As the Kendo team that used to attack him all the time said, "Why do you have a store?" As Issei said, "It's my problem, not yours. Shut up." When Issei said that, they all went quiet. As his old friend said, "Issei, come on, stop." As Issei then hit them both on the neck and said, "Go to sleep." As the teacher said, "Okay, everyone, quiet down and sit down." Then we have a certain somebody named Konako and Kiba in the classroom, the same class as Issei. As Issei looked at them and said, "Hmm, let me get out of here and go to that old place." As Issei went to the camp, to basically the room where everyone in his barrage was in. It was Issei, Rias, and everyone there. As Issei was sitting down in the couch, just looking at the window. He was sitting next to the window, looking. As Issei was like, huh. As Rios was looking at Issei, said, wait, you're still alive? Then Issei said, yeah. Well, you want me dead? Ha ha ha. You stupid person. You can't kill the last person of his clan. You can't kill the last person of his clan that easily. And besides, they wouldn't let you. Now, what the hell's going on? As Issei waited for everyone, as everyone came in, Konako Akira heard about Issei turning out to be different and was way much different than before. As Akano tried to get touchy with Issei, as Issei said, "Get the hell out of my way. I don't like you." When Issei said that, she just said, "Ouch, Issei," as Issei said, "Shut up. Shut the hell up." So after that, Issei looked at all of them, as all of them were shocked to hear Issei say that. As Issei said, "I don't care. Just continue talking and let's finish this shit." As Issei, I'm gonna pause real quick. As Issei let out, as Issei let out all his anger, all that anger. And this is where I'm gonna leave it off. Thank you guys for watching. This is Fenton Duels here, and goodbye.